Hello, I'm Tim Brown, State Representative for the 3rd House District, and welcome to Ohio in Focus.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Ohio in Focus, a program that brings state government to you. I'm your host, Brad Miller. We have with us today State Representative Tim Brown, who serves the 3rd House District, which includes all of Wood County. Thank you for joining us today, Representative.
Thanks for the opportunity, Brad. I appreciate it.
Before we get started, why don't you just give us a brief background of your career in public service and how you got to this point?
Well, right out of college, I had the opportunity to work for our Board of County Commissioners as a business manager for a couple of years. And 2 years into that, our congressional seat opened up in Northern Ohio for the first time in 30 years. And I ended up working for then Senate President Paul Gilmore and a successful campaign for Congress. And I ended up working for him as a district representative in Northwest Ohio for 8 years before running for county commissioner. I've served as a county commissioner in Wood County for the past 15 years and elected to the legislature this past November.
So you're plenty of experience at the county level, and now you are here in Columbus, still representing all of Wood County. What has the experience of being a county commissioner meant? How has it helped you in your current capacity?
It's a great question. It's been tremendous, Brad, to have the opportunity to work with local elected officials, local business leaders to kind of prepare us for the other side of it, and that is the legislation that can have an impact on our citizens and businesses. I also got very involved in the County Commissioners Association in its leadership and was actually elected. I was the statewide vice president last year and would have been president this year but for my election to the House. But I was somewhat reluctant to have to say goodbye to my colleagues in the Commissioners Association, but I get to continue to work with them. So,
what have been some of the biggest surprises or biggest differences between working strictly at the county level and now working at the state level?
Well, yeah, I tell folks back home when they ask how things are going, I tell them it's a little like drinking from a fire hose at the moment. It's a lot to learn, a lot of new process. I have great respect for the institution and great leaders here like Bill Batchelder, Lynn Watchman. I'm on one of his committees. To see these folks that have been around and serving the people of Ohio through the General Assembly, it's neat to get to work with these kinds of folks. They take the representative process very seriously. And for me, as the freshman and the new guy, I say, I know I've asked the dumb question once or twice, but no one acts like it. They've been very welcoming, and it's helped to transition into this different realm.
You mentioned the fire hose. It doesn't slow down either now that we're moving into the budget process and getting that going. What are some of the important issues? Jobs has certainly been a priority throughout the state for the last couple years in the previous General Assembly and in this current one. What are some specific issues that your district faces?
Well, it's like really the rest of the state. It's the economy, it's jobs, job training for people to get them back into the workforce as quickly as possible. You know, and I even talk to, in spite of, you know, our state being in the outer areas, I guess, of the recession, we still have a workforce shortage in many career paths. And, you know, I've met with manufacturers who have highly skilled workforce that will pay $50,000 to $60,000 starting pay. And they're having a tough time finding people who meet the criteria. You know, if you can't pass a drug test or you're not willing to work a second or third shift, we're finding a lot of people out there that will say, I'm not interested. The trucking industry, if you want a job in trucking, it's yours for the taking right now. There's a workforce shortage in some areas, and I think we just need to do a better job of, one, moving our economy in the right direction so people who want work can find it, and we need to do a better job of steering people in the direction of these industries that are really starving for trained and dedicated workers.
One area in the workforce development realm you're working on is House Bill 2, yes, which deals with getting the unemployed who are looking for work back to work. You're co-sponsoring that with Representative Tim Derrickson. Can you explain, first it deals with OhioMeansJobs, that program. Can you first explain briefly what OhioMeansJobs is, so we're all on the same page?
Sure. OhioMeansJobs, or one-stops, as a lot of people back in the districts refer to them, is the first initial point of contact for people who are looking for employment or to obtain some assistance in retraining, help with rewriting their resumes. The one-stops are charged with the responsibility of helping people get to that path of finding employment. And House Bill 1 will give all of these one-stops in Ohio's 88 counties the same title, so that people who transition from one county to another know by name that OhioMeansJobs, Wood County, or OhioMeansJobs, Lucas County, wherever you may live, that it's the same office there to help you. House Bill 2, which I'm extremely fortunate to have Tim Derrickson allow me to be a joint sponsor with him on that bill. It's House Bill 2. It's my first piece of legislation, and I'm honored to be associated with something that is really ramping up the process of getting people back to work. The first thing the bill does is say that in Ohio, we're not going to provide unemployment insurance. We're not going to provide you compensation unless you have first registered with our one-stops to put you on that path to finding the tools necessary to get you back to work. The second thing the bill will do is require after 8 weeks that you actually have a direct contact with the one-stops to find out why over the course of those 8 weeks this ramped up system that Ohio is going to provide to help people find work, why that's not working for the individual. We want to play a more proactive role in getting people back to work, and I think it's a really unique opportunity to do so. One of the things the governor's administration has pledged to do is provide through the one-stops a direct email to the unemployed person that will have 5 job postings relevant to their background, their education, and their experience. And that really, I think, is progressive in really ramping up how Ohio tries to merge our unemployed with those opportunities that are out there. There's a contract in place with Monster.com, and they will do all the searching of all the job post entities in the state and coordinate that effort on behalf of Ohio to help our citizens find work.
So just to reiterate, to make it absolutely clear, for an unemployed person looking for work, they would first register through the OhioMeansJobs network or program work website.
Absolutely.
And then once that's done, that's when they would receive these emails. Is that correct?
That's correct. Within the first week, the goal is to start sending the emails out based on their background, experience, and to try to give them things that aren't just jobs, but jobs relevant to them that they will hopefully be interested in. And one of the other unique features about it is that they will be able to click on the job line posting, and it will take them right to the company's website where they can fill out the application. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for people.
So you recently offered testimony in a committee, the House Manufacturing and Workforce Development Committee, one of many long-titled committees in the House. What has the response been like to that testimony and overall so far?
It's been very good. We've had a lot of support. The administration, the governor's folks came over, both the Job and Family Services folks, and the people in his Office of Workforce Development in support of what we're trying to do. So, I feel like my first bill, my first testimony to a committee on a bill that I have my name on, I feel like it's been going very well. Now, we'll have proponent and opponent testimony coming up in the next week, and so we'll hear if there are some concerns out there. One of the things that Tim Derrickson and I have said, if there's something that we've missed on this, something that could improve the bill, we want to look at that. So the process has been very helpful to us so far.
And you also serve on a few other committees as well. They deal with different issues, for instance, health and aging, state and local government. Do most of these issues, do you see, are related in some way? Do they come back to the economy and jobs, regardless of what specific issue they're talking about?
A lot of it does. All my colleagues down here, the leadership, our speaker, we're focused on what we can do to turn around Ohio's economy and improve it. We've already seen some very positive signs in our state But we've got a long ways to go to get this economy back to where everybody who wants a job can find one. And so that's the conversation really in almost every committee and with my colleagues is, what are we working on? What are we doing to help improve and lead this nation in turning around this recession that we've all endured for far too long? So a lot of discussion on jobs, regardless of what committee we've been assigned to. My committee assignments range from, as you pointed out, health and aging, banking, financial institutions, and then the state and local government committee.
You mentioned at the outset your respect for the institution. You are a freshman legislator here in the House. What was the feeling? What was it like when you were when you became a state representative? When that first day, what was that like?
It's all been very overwhelming to know that you have been elected to represent the people back home, and it's an incredible honor. Any level of public service, I believe, is an honor. But to sit in the chamber and where so much positive has happened over the decades in Ohio to make us the great state that we are, it's an incredible honor. During an orientation session we had back in November, former Speaker Joanne Davidson came in and spoke to us, and she says, I was talked into running, loved the job that I had, and she says, after I got here, after 6 months, she's thought, I could take it or leave it, and said she seriously thought about leaving. But she found that she loved the process because it's a way to have an impact to better lives, better the lives of our citizens, better the business climate. And we all know she turned out to be a fantastic Speaker of the Ohio House of Representatives. And she says, I didn't come here with an agenda. I wasn't mad and I was going to fix this or change this. I didn't have this long list of things that I was going to do. I just wanted to come here and make a difference. And that's when it made me realize that if I get to use my prior experience that the voters have allowed me to have and make a difference, then it's all worthwhile. And she made me realize that that's a good way about it. It's a good plan of attack. Come here and just hope to make a difference.
You obviously have a lot of experience in very local government. Others have experience being business owners in the healthcare profession and all sorts of these things. Do you find that there's kind of a wealth of knowledge or a lot of different viewpoints, and how does that play out?
Well, there is tremendous diversity in the backgrounds and the experience that folks have brought down here to the legislature. And, I get to share in those conversations when we have some downtime, share in those conversations in the various committees to which I've been assigned. Barbara Sears was giving some testimony just recently on a bill, and it was just remarkable for me to sit there and listen to someone who had such a keen grasp for the issue because of her background and experience. So it's been tremendous to learn from my colleagues who do bring a wealth of diversity in their background experience to this particular General Assembly.
We have a minute or two left. For constituents watching at home who would like to contact your office, what is the most effective or easiest way for them to do that?
Well, a lot of them have my personal email address, and I tell everybody they're welcome to either contact me at home or at the office. The email address is rep03@ohiohouse.gov, and either way it'll get to me. So, and the phone, 614-466-8104. This is a representative position, and my job is to represent our citizens back home, and I want to hear from people about there's a lot of innovative discussion down here in Columbus about ways to improve our state's economy, and we need ideas, and we need feedback on some of these things that have been proposed. So the citizens of Wood County are welcome to call me or email me anytime.
It can be tough to keep those area codes straight sometimes.
Yes.
A lot of numbers floating around. Well, Representative,
Brad, thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
We look forward to seeing you again on the next edition of Ohio in Focus, the program that brings state government to you. Thank you for joining us.